Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, we're going to be talking about surviving sexual assault as I am joined by author Amy McKiernan. Amy is the author of the book, More Than a Survivor, 8 Keys to Overcoming Sexual Assault. And she's going to be talking about her personal experience and those 8 keys and talking about what she's up to and going to be up to. So, Amy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Amy McKiernan, and I am the author of, as you said, More Than a Survivor, 8 Keys to Overcoming Sexual Assault and Finding a Path to Living a Fulfilled Life. In addition to that, I am a presenter for Campus Outreach Services and Take Back the Night. And in addition, I also am the Director of Employee Relations for 5 early learning schools.
Yeah, and congratulations on that. So, talk to the listeners about your story.
Yeah, so, I have experience with, a variety of experiences, I should say. Starting from middle school age to high school age. I experienced my first rape at 15, and my journey was really hard. I started going down a path of drugs and alcohol and all the things to numb all the pain from those experiences. Um, and I, it took a long time to get back on the right path for me. When I was 15, I was raped by a friend. There was drinking involved. And then, like I said, the drinking and drugs and just, you know, getting myself into situations where I wasn't being treated very well in relationships. And then it led to more experiences with more sexual abuse. And it was just a dark, heavy road, and it took a really long time for me to accept the help that I was being given, but also to choose myself and my own healing, and to choose to not identify as the victim and the pain and the hurt, and that's what my book is all about. Is It's called More Than a Survivor because I really do believe that there is more than just survival. When you think about surviving something, it's powerful. It's a very important thing, but it asks a lot of questions, right? Like, what condition are you in? Are you actually thriving? Are you are your wounds actually healed or healing? Or are they just open and you're just getting through day to day? And I lived like that for a long time. And so I wrote this book because I really wanted to help other people and, give my experiences a voice. And I think that others out there need a voice. I think that people need to feel less alone with these types of experiences. Um, and, not only sharing my journey and my story, but also this this guidance, these keys to deeply healing and truly overcoming is what makes, I think, this book unique and so special.
Well, talk about what was your journey like for writing this book, and who do you feel should read your book?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a long journey. Writing a book like this, it didn't take, it took time. I was thinking about writing it for years and years. And way back in 2014, I was on, my dad had a radio program at the time. And I went on an episode with him. And we called it "What Do You Do When Life Gets Broken?" And I was talking about one of my experiences and kind of how we navigated that experience as a family. And I remember after that, there was someone called in, this woman called in from the Philippines, and she was just so touched by my courage. She called me courageous, and she shared some of her experiences. And I remember that moment all those years ago was in my mind. I was like, you know what? I do want to do this. I think I want to write a book. I want to like get my voice out there and help people. But still, it took me another like 5 years to start it, and that was like a learning experience for me in itself, a healing experience for me in itself, because writing it opened up more understanding of myself and deeper healing. Like I thought I didn't realize some of the impacts that I was still holding on to until I wrote the book. And really, I mean, it's a hard read. I'll be very upfront about it. It's a hard read. But being able to put it all on the pages like this was so cathartic for me. And it helped me connect even deeper to some of the experiences that I was suppressing or holding, burying deep inside me. Um, and then as I was writing it, I started probably in like 2019 is when I really started writing it. And it still took me until 2025 to finish it. Um, but as I was writing it, the keys became clear. I didn't have the idea for these 8 keys when I started writing it. All I knew is I was going to write a book. And as I was writing it, I was able to name the keys. I always had them inside me, but as I was organizing the book and writing about my journey and then the healing process and what that looked like, that's when I was able to really name the keys. So it was a really long process. But it was an amazing one. It was a deep healing journey for me personally, writing this book and getting these keys out. And, I also in it, I share the perspectives of my dad and my sister, who are two people from my own support system. I talk about the importance of a support system in the book, and I share their perspectives throughout, because I think it's so important to show the journeys of the allies and support people too, right? They were there walking beside me. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't know this was trauma for them too. Trauma that I couldn't even see because I was so deep within my own. Um, and so it makes it a really, a book that not only a survivor of sexual abuse, but someone who supports somebody who is a survivor of sexual abuse can read and relate to and find help in. Um, and then another piece that I added to the book is a reflective journal. So the reader can download this reflective journal. And throughout the book, there's these prompts, these reflective prompts that you are able to kind of pause and think about your own journey and really connect to your own life and your own journey. So it's this active experience. I wanted it to be something where people weren't just reading about my story. I wanted it to be something where they were connecting to their own. And so it makes it a book for anyone who has experienced any type of sexual abuse, no matter how long or how recent it has been for you. It doesn't matter if it was a long time ago, and it doesn't matter if it was super recent. This book can can be for you and can provide you support and help. And like I said before, it's also a book for allies and support people who are supporting someone going through this. I think that it provides a deep level of understanding for support people as well.
Well, talk to the listeners about the cover design of your book. Is there a special meaning behind it?
Yes, I really thank you.
Let's take a quick break.
Hi there. If you would like an instant quote for business insurance, go to insuranceman.net. Protect what you have worked so hard for. Insurance Man LLC, entrepreneur's best friend.
For asking. I really love the cover of my book because there is a very deep and special meaning to it. It is inspired by kintsugi, which is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery and filling the cracks with gold. And the pottery is considered stronger, more beautiful, and more valuable than before because it's formed through suffering. And my colleague and friend Allison Grieveson actually designed it for me. She came up with the concept after reading my book, my manuscript, and wanted to design my cover because she's just amazing like that. And she came up with the design. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this reminds me of kintsugi," and it was just so perfect, because it's all about repairing what's broken. It's putting it back together in a strong and beautiful, powerful way where your value isn't lost. If anything, it's greater. You know, just overcoming hardships and growing from them and identifying by the strength and learning that comes from hardships, I believe is so beautiful. Not viewing yourself, getting to a point where you don't view yourself as broken or damaged because of the things that have happened to you. And I went a long time viewing myself as broken and damaged, broken, damaged goods, right? That term was so relatable to me, damaged goods. And that's how I perceived myself and how I felt the world perceived me. And therefore, I went about my life just kind of, you know, almost like accepting the treatment because it was like, well, this is my lot in life. This is who I am for the world, right? And it wasn't until I was able to overcome and really become stronger and identify with the strength from my experiences and view myself as valuable again, just like that kintsugi pottery, that I now know my worth and my value to the world. And I feel confident and I feel bold and I feel like my voice matters. And it's such a beautiful and powerful place to be. And so I love that the cover of the book. I mean, it's the first thing you see. It's this beautiful blue, and you can see the cracks are filled with gold. And it represents the journey that I want for the reader.
Well, tell us the 8 keys and also tell us if these 8 keys need to be done in any specific order.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll list them off for you. They are called, one is understand the impact, avoid the void, speak up, solidify your support system, pave your new path with choice, put things where they belong, take time for self care, be your own gardener. And the last one is claim your justice. And they actually do not need to be done in any particular order. What I like about these keys is that they are very sustainable and very attainable for anyone. They're Anyone can read about these keys and feel like they can accomplish them. Um, some will feel harder than others. Some will feel too big, compared to others, and that's all okay. They don't have to be done in any certain order. As you're reading through them, you might say, "Oh man, like, yeah, I'm already here. I've got this one down, but this next one, oof, I'm not ready for it. Okay, I'm going to revisit that another time." And that's okay. And so, yeah, you can revisit them anytime. You can skip over one, and come back to it. You can start with any certain one. They really, can be done, whenever the reader is ready for them.
Well, if there's a survivor listening right now who is feeling lost, what is one short and simple action that they can take from your book to find fulfillment again?
That's a great question. I think that it all boils down to choice. And if you're feeling lost and you just don't know where to start, remember that you do have power over choices. And some choices can be small choices toward healing, you know. Um, I think that that's, one of the keys is pave your new path with choice. And it's all about reclaiming your choices in life. Because when you experience sexual abuse, you know that your choices were taken from you. And that is a very, very hard thing to go through. But when you can reclaim your choices in life, you're getting your power back. And some of those choices could be simple and small. And, if everything's feeling too big right now, if the thought of taking bigger steps in your healing journey are feeling too unattainable, then you can focus on one small choice at a time. Each day, each moment, what is one small choice that you're going to make toward your well being and toward reclaiming your life? And maybe that's talking to a friend. Maybe that's calling a therapist. Maybe that's deciding what not to put into your body or what boundary to make that day. And every day that you make small attainable choices toward your health and well-being, you're chipping away at this new healthy path for yourself. And each day you do that, then that path becomes smoother and clearer and a little bit easier to go down. And then sometimes those small choices turn into much bigger ones toward your health and your reclaiming your life. So I think my advice to any reader who feels lost and doesn't quite know what to do is what's make one small choice. What can that one small choice be for yourself in this moment to reclaim your health and your healing?
Well, tell us about any other upcoming projects that you're working on that listeners need to be aware of.
Yeah, so right now I am doing, podcasts, trying to get, spread the word about my book and in hopes that it will help as many people who need it. So, I'm doing podcast and I am also, I mentioned before that I'm a presenter for campus outreach services and Take Back the Night. That's a newer project. That's something a new road I'm on. I'm really excited about it. And so I'll be having some speaking opportunities coming up at different college campuses and organizations. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I think that those are the two things that I'm really doing right now to get my voice out there and to spread the news about this book in hopes that it can help as many people as possible.
Well, I know that you're the current director for employee relations for 5 early learning schools. Do you want to speak about anything on that?
I mean, yes, I'm also doing that. I'm really busy. I love that position. You know, I work within our it's a small but large teaching community, and I get to work with 5 schools where I go, and I really get to work with the staff and the teachers mainly. And we focus on healthy communication um, and solution based conversations and repairing it kind of all intertwines, right? Repairing things that get broken, right? You know, when you work in a close knit community, often there's breakdowns or there's advocacy that needs to happen for yourself, and people don't always know how to do it. And that's what I support them with, is advocating for themselves and others, and repairing broken communication when that happens, because it happens to everyone. I do training on healthy communication for all the schools. Um, so yeah, I'm really passionate about that, and I'm looking forward to continuing that work with the schools, because it's kind of my whole journey in life is supporting people in being healthy, strong versions of themselves, and realizing that we can all not only do hard things, but we can overcome hard things in all areas of life, whether it's work communication, whether it's something deep like trauma, whether it's a really hard day. You know, it's all about taking the next right step, making that next healthy, right choice for you, and doing the work and overcoming those really hard things that life throws at us. Um, and the more you do it, the stronger you get. And then the stronger you are to, kind of withstand the next storm that comes, right? Just because you do the work and you heal and you feel stronger over one situation doesn't mean life doesn't give you another storm to withstand. And I just feel like doing this kind of work, rebuilding and restoring, it makes you stronger to handle whatever those storms may be. And so it's kind of just like my passion all around, and I, um, focus on it in all areas of life. And so I'm just excited to continue with that type of work in all aspects.
We'll throw out your contact info so people can purchase that book and keep up with everything that you're up to.
Yeah, so you can visit my website. It is amymckiernan.com. And you'll see information about my book on there. Some upcoming podcasts will be on there. Some previous recording of podcasts will be on there. You can find my book. Um, you could check out your local bookstore. You can find it on Amazon. You can support independent um, authors and buy it at bookbabybookshop.com. And then you can also follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and pretty much all the platforms to see what's going on. I'll be posting all my upcoming things. So
Close us out with some final thoughts, maybe if there was something I forgot to talk about that you would like to touch on, or any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
final thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I think my final thought and the thing that I would like to leave with listeners is that it's never too late to heal. And we are all worthy of it and deserving of it. And don't forget, you can focus on one small choice at a time. You know, you're listening right now to this. So, what will you choose next?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you or somebody else that you know is dealing with, trying to survive sexual assault, amymckiernan.com. Go pick up the book and check out those 8 keys and keep up with everything that Amy's up to. Follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible. And go sign up for the Living the Dream newsletter at www.curveball337.com. Leave us a review, any suggestions you have for the show, and share the website to everybody that you know. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. And Amy, thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
For more information on the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, visit www.curveball337.com. Until next time, keep living the dream.